Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle Podcast coming up next. We got pro wrestling superstar Alex Evans in the building.
Yeah,
We
buddy.
gonna talk that talk coming up next.
This is the Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle Podcast, your home for real pro wrestling talk.
Soon, Bang Out Club will meet their fate. We have a secret weapon. Someone from Lisa Bang Out's past, just in case she tries to get involved in our business. Meet our insurance policy.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, we the champs. Thanks for listening. We gone.
You want the best? You're looking at her. This ain't just a sport, it's a lifestyle. Welcome to the Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle Podcast. We are the champions of wrestling talk.
This is the Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle Podcast, your home for real pro wrestling talk.
Coming up, we got Alex Evans in the building. Stay tuned. Make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, we the champs. Thanks for listening. We gone.
Please stand by.
Now, here's your host for Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle Podcast, the insightful S. Scott Bars, wrestling media in the dynamic salute, Darkwing Dub.
We back. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell for more content. Yeah! Alex Evans is in the building. Let's give a round of applause.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, we always let the Southern King lead off. So, we gonna let homie start it off real quick. So, you go ahead, sir.
Mr. Alex Evans himself.
Yes, sir.
You're in so many different promotions. But before we get there, let's start with how Alex Evans got involved in pro wrestling.
All right. So I'm based out of Raleigh, North Carolina right now. I was born and raised in upstate New York. And while I was living in upstate New York, always been a big fan of wrestling since I was a kid, and I always wanted to get into it, but like you just never knew how. Like, how do you get your foot in the door? How do you start training? All that stuff. And I remember I was working somewhere, and someone pointed out. He's like, "Oh, you know who that is?" I was like, "No." I was like, "Who is it?" He's like, "Oh, that's a guy named Chip Stetson," which was like a local indie wrestling guy. And he was like, "Dude, you always say you want to get into wrestling. Like, go ask him. How did he get into it? What's he do around me? He's from here." So I went up and I talked to him, and then he told me of a wrestling school that was like maybe a little over an hour away from my hometown. And the person that was like running that school was a guy who was from my hometown as well. His name was Bobby Fish, who is a professional wrestling superstar. Yeah. So he gave me Bobby's number, and then I called Bobby, and I told him, just gave him the basic spiel, like, "Hey man, like I really want to do this. I really want to get into this. Something I always wanted to do. It's a dream of mine." All the good stuff. So I started training with Bobby out of Hudson Falls, New York. And I did that for a couple of years. And then some life things happened, and I moved out of New York, and then I went and lived in Chicago. And I was in Chicago for about 4 years. And I was in college and school and working and stuff out there. And, I couldn't find a good school from where I was living, or like anywhere that was reasonably close for me to even consider be like, okay, I can go to school, work full time, and train. I wouldn't be able to make it work. And then after Chicago, I moved down to North Carolina. And when I moved down to North Carolina, I want to say maybe about like a year after I moved to North Carolina, a couple of years after I moved to North Carolina, probably maybe like 2 or 3. I saw like an Instagram ad for a wrestling show that was in Raleigh. I'm like, oh shit. I was like, wrestling show in Raleigh. I was like, these guys on this show, it wasn't like big name guys. It was a local indie show. I was like, these guys got to come from somewhere. Yeah, I mean, they got to train somewhere. So I remember I hit up the owner of that promotion, and I was like, hey man, I was like, do you know of any like schools like in North Carolina or like around the area that, you know, you train at? He's like, not in this area, not in the Raleigh area. But he's like, but there's this school out in Greensboro, North Carolina. It's called Firestar Pro Wrestling. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, do you know who runs the show there? And he goes, yeah, it's a guy by the name of LeBron Cozy, as I call him. Everyone calls him Cozy. And I remember I sent Cozy a DM on Instagram and just gave him the same spiel. But like, listen, I have some experience from back in the day, and I really just want to get back into it. I want to know if I can come check out the school. And he was just like, come on up. So I went there. I met him on like a Tuesday night. It was like in the middle of the training class, and that was it. Started there at Firestar. That was 4.5 years ago now. So yeah. So then started at Firestar, and the rest, as they say, is history, man. I had the best coach in the freaking world in Cozy and LeBron. So that's how I got into the business, and how I really made my way and set my path was from out of North Carolina and through Firestar.
So as you know, there's a lot of professional wrestlers that have some sort of athletic background. What about you? Did you have an athletic background, or did you just like, you know what? I don't have to have a fucking athletic background. I'm just gonna go do this shit.
No, yeah. No, I had a amateur wrestling background. So I started wrestling when I was in 3rd grade, amateur, and I wrestled all the way up until I was freshman in high school. And then I stopped just because like high school politic bullshit. You know what I mean? Didn't matter how good you weren't going to get picked from the team because the kid's dad was this coach and that, you know what I mean? So I was like, I don't need this shit. Like, I don't want it. And then after high school, I want to say it was like maybe my freshman, sophomore year in college, I really got into mixed martial arts. So I started doing MMA and jiu-jitsu and like Muay Thai kickboxing and stuff like that. Had a couple amateur fights. I did that for 2-3 years. And then that kind of put a halt when I moved to Chicago too. So yeah, so I have a little bit of an athletic background in outside of professional wrestling.
So being in MMA and doing some amateur wrestling, how did you take those 2 trainings and put them towards your professional wrestling training?
So like a lot of people will say this is a fault of mine. But like, I'm a perfectionist, man. Like, I want to be the best at what I do. I want to give it 100%. I want to just make sure I can dedicate enough time to do it like full blast. I don't half-ass anything. I don't like to do that. I say, why waste your time? You know what I mean? If you're not going to do anything 100%, don't bother, because you ain't going to get what you want out of it. So it was just that discipline and that drive that I had to want to be successful and to be really good at it. You know, I live in Raleigh, North Carolina, and where the school, or Firestar Pro Wrestling, where their training school is at, it's in Greensboro. And it's not like it's a far drive. It's like maybe like an hour and a half. But I was doing that 3 times a week, man. Yeah, I was, you know, I think when I started, my son, he's 6 now, but he was 2.5, you know what I mean? So he was a baby, but I was driving back and forth an hour and a half, 3 times a week, just to get in the training, because I wanted to do it. You know, it's just something I always wanted to do. And it was like one of those like now or never things. I was like, look, if I don't do it now, if I don't buckle up and do it now, like, I'm just not going to do it. I know me. You know what I mean? Like, too much
Right.
time will go past. I'll get older. It's not going to be the same, whatever the case may be. I was like, I just have to do it now. So finally, it was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I have to do it. And that was it. So definitely like the drive and dedication from prior sports and prior athletics was a huge contributing factor to stepping into a wrestling ring and being able to do that.
You also mentioned being a dad, doing all
Mhm.
this driving. So how did that affect you being a dad and having to drive 2 hours away, then driving another 2 hours back? That's 4 hours that you've missed. And then
Yeah.
also, did that play a part in like maybe kind of messing up your training because now you're worried about home and your
Mhm.
2-year-old and stuff like that? How did that affect you mentally also?
It was rough, man. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. Like, it was rough. You know what I mean? Like, my first child, my only child, so, that kid's my everything. You know what I mean? That kid's my world. He's my son. Um, so, and, everyone told me, it's like, it's okay. Like, we got you. Like, we understand. Like, we'll take care of it. Like, we have to do this. That doesn't mean shit, though. You know what I mean? Like, you still, like, I'm his dad. He's got one. It's me, and it would suck when I would leave. And, I'd have to say bye to him when I left because, like, training started at, like, 3 p.m., right? And then we'd go till, like, 7, 8 o'clock, maybe even later than that. And then I got 2 hours drive back. When I'd get home, he was asleep. I didn't see him. And, he was only 2 years old, so it's not like, he resented me or anything. It was more like I resented myself. I was like, man, like, am I being a good dad? You know what I mean? Am I living up to those duties and doing what I'm supposed to be as a father as well? And that, in the end of the day, it's like, well, I'm doing this for him, but in the moment, it didn't feel like it. You know what I mean? So, like, there was a lot of, like, second guessing during that time where it was just like, all right, am I making the best decision right now? Like, leaving my 2-year-old boy at home, with his mom, and just like, is this the right thing that I'm doing? A lot of back and forth with that, but at the end of the day, it was all worth it, and it sucked. It was a struggle, but anything that's worthwhile usually is going to be right. It's not going to be a cakewalk. It ain't going to be easy. So we got to make sacrifices, and you're going to go through a shit ton of trials and tribulations, to get to where you want to be in whatever aspect it is of life. So, yeah, it sucked, but we powered through and we made it. We did it. So it worked out pretty well in the end.
I understand exactly where you're coming from. No, I'm not a pro wrestler, never trained for it. But when my now 14-year-old daughter was born, I was in the Army. And I remember having to leave for 6 months to a year for deployment and having to leave her like that. And no, pro wrestling and the Army are not the same, but if you're not there mentally, in your case, you could get seriously hurt, right? And in my case, if I'm not there mentally, I could end up dead. So it was tough.
Yeah.
So I completely understand exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah. And on the flip side of that too, man, and it goes in I think in both of our cases too, like, if you're not 100% there mentally, you could get yourself seriously hurt, or even worse off, you could seriously hurt somebody else though too.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when I step into a wrestling ring, there's a very solid mutual understanding that, hey man, I'm going to make sure you get home to your family tonight safe in one piece. I'd like to do the same thing. You know what I mean? I'd like to get home to my kids and my family too. So yeah, man, you got to be in the right mental state, because if you're not, it could be the smallest things that could just ruin a lot of shit for a lot of people. So It was tough. But again, we powered through, man. We did it. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we talked to Damian Jackson, and we've talked to yeah, he's actually where he's the guy that we actually got your name from. because
Really? I
he
was about to
talked.
say,
Yeah,
like, how'd y'all find me and stuff? Damian Jackson,
yeah.
ain't that something? Yeah,
Well,
hell of a guy,
you'll see
man.
at the end of the show how we get names. You'll see at the end of the show. But yeah, he actually brought your
Okay,
name up a few times. We've heard a lot of great things about LeBron Cozone too. So
man.
what is the most important thing that you've learned just by training with somebody like LeBron Cozone?
Uh, Patience, man. Patience, especially in this industry. You know what I mean? In this business, in this sport, everyone wants to be at the top of the game, right? You know what I mean? Everyone needs to realize and get a grasp and get a hold that you need to learn the fundamentals first, because you're not going to get here overnight. You're not going to get here in a year. It takes time, and you got to have patience, because there's going to be times where I don't want to say like you feel bad for yourself, but you just get down on yourself. You're like, God damn. I was like, why am I not able to do this yet? Or why am I not here yet? Or why haven't I done this yet? And it's just like, brother, hold on. You know what I mean? You trust the process, as cliche as that is. Trust the process, and you will get there. You know what I mean? You just have to listen and surround yourself around the right people that are going to help you achieve your goals and get you to where you want to be. But it's not an overnight thing. You know what I mean? It's practice, it's training, it's determination. And if you can master the art of patience, which was probably like the most difficult fucking thing for me to do in my life, because like I don't have much patience. You know what I mean? It's just like, if I want something, I want it now, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get it right now. But then you run into like something like professional wrestling, and it's just like, nah, man, like you're not going to get this now. You got to pump the brakes a little bit and tone it down, and then you'll get here. After you can do this, this, and this, then you can do this, that, and the other. So patience, man. Just trust the process, patience, and follow it. And then in the end, hopefully, if you stick to your guns and stick to the plan, you'll get what you want out of anything in life. But for this particular reason, in professional wrestling too.
So, last one before I pass it on. Seeing somebody like, you guys probably knew him as Jay Malachi. We see him as Javon Evans.
Yeah.
Seeing where he's at right now, how does that does it mess up your patience? And he's like, I want what he has.
Nah, man, because look at Javon's 22 years old, 21, 22 years old. He's a young kid, but people don't realize that Javon's been doing this since he was 13. Okay, so he was a 13-year-old kid when he started training, and was handpicked by Arn Anderson out of a seminar at the age of 13 to be on the show. Yeah, man. Like, that's God-given talent right there. And not to take away from the hard work and everything, but that's talent. That's raw talent. But, some people's entire wrestling careers don't last 7 years. You know what I mean? 8 years. And Javon's been training since he was 13. He's been in this business for 8 years. So you know what I mean? Like, talk about patience. Imagine I'm trying to have patience as an adult in this business, right? You know what I mean? That man was 13. He went through his entire teenage years with that same patience that, everyone tells you need to have. Try explaining that to a kid, a 13, 14, 15-year-old kid. Nah, you can't teach that to a kid. But that's why Javon is so special, man. He stuck to his guns. He trusted the process. He had great people around him, and he put that work in. And brother is in Saudi Arabia right now, about to be in the Royal Rumble tomorrow at 21 years old. You know what I mean? Like, that's wild. And people are like, oh my God, that's so crazy. It's not crazy though if you knew the amount of work that kid put into like mastering his craft. So it's not crazy. It's completely believable because he put the work in, he put the time in, and look where he's at now.
So I'm seeing that, knowing that you guys went to the same school.
Mm-hmm.
Does it give you personally? Does it give you more hope but does it mess with your patience level just a little bit?
No, it doesn't mess with my patience. Does it give me hope? I wouldn't say like it gives me hope because I'm not going to get somewhere because Javon Evans came from somewhere because that dude's in another world. You know what I mean? Like he's just like I said, that's God-given talent. There's one Javon Evans. There will only be one Javon Evans. But I want to say he just at such a young age that man just inspired so many people. You know what I mean? Like this kid did it. He is from Greensboro, North Carolina. He trained at Firestar Pro Wrestling under LeBron Cozone. You know, he opened his ears and he opened his eyes and he listened and he had great mentors and friends around him. And he went from Greensboro, North Carolina, a graduate of Firestar Pro Wrestling, to NXT, now to Raw, and now he's on the main roster. You know what I mean? Like, that says a lot. That says a lot about Javon. It says a lot about Firestar Pro Wrestling. It says a lot about Cozy. But no, if anything, it taught me to master the patience because if that man can do it and have that type of patience at such a young age for 8 years and then get that call and do what he's doing now, that's an inspiration, man. That's something and someone that like you look up to, you know? So I was just blessed enough to be around him for as long as I was and watch him work with him a little bit too. You know what I mean? So that was always a privilege and it was just fun. And just so happy for the kid, man. He deserves it. He deserves it. He deserves it all.
Real quick, Bars, before I pass, I know I said I was going to ask you one more, then pass it on to him, but real quick. Talk to us. What makes Firestar and LeBron Cozone's school so dynamic? Because we see a lot of wrestlers, whether if it's in AEW, WWE, TNA, wherever, a lot of them have come from Firestar and LeBron Cozone. Like,
Yeah,
what is
man.
what makes that so his school so dynamic?
Cozy. You know, I mean that's all him, dude. This is gonna sound biased just because like I'm a graduate of the school and that's where I train and shit too. But like I thoroughly believe it is the best professional wrestling training school in this country. It really is. The guys that have graduated from there and where they are now, like you just said, multiple in AEW, WWE. I mean, Javon's there. Jackson Drake is there now too. You know what I mean? That's my boy. Shout out Jackson. TNA. He's had graduates that are just in TNA and stuff now too. You know, it's just it's LeBron, man. He's the man. There's no other way to put it. You know, to put it. He's such a good trainer. And on top of that, he's been such a good friend and mentor to me. And just the way he teaches, he's just a no bullshit guy. You know what I mean? He doesn't hide any secrets. He will tell you, you need to do this, 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 and this. You need to work on this, that, and the other. And he won't let you do anything else unless you can perfect this. Okay, now you're good at this. Now let's go over here. Now let's work on this. Now I need to teach you this. Now you need to learn this stuff and this aspect of the business. And it's not just like a here, show up, take your money, take a couple bumps, and if you like it, come back. No, he cares. There was a long period of time where and I'm so happy that he's been getting himself out there more in this last like year or two. You know, DPW, he's taking a lot more independent bookings and stuff like that. But before it was like he didn't care. You know what I mean? He didn't care if he wrestled or did this. He wanted to train the next generation of the best professional wrestlers. So all of his time was put into that. And that's just dedication on his part, man, and the love of the craft and what he does. He gives his all into everybody that walks through that door. You know what I mean? It's like a teacher, right? Like you walk in the front door of his school, everyone starts with a 100 with him. You know, you all get an A. It's up to y'all to maintain that grade. You know what I mean? Like he will give you the tools. He will tell you what to do. It's up to you whether you want to do it or not. And if you do want to do it and he sees that drive and he sees that perseverance and how goal-driven you are, he will hand you on a silver platter and say, here, this is what you need to do and you will be a superstar in this business. And he's proven that over and over and over again with multiple people. You know, and it's not like he's, like I said, he's not keeping any like industry secrets. He doesn't know somebody in this company or that. Like, nah, he just trains the way that he does, and he produces top talent everywhere.
It's on you. Go ahead.
No, that's amazing. Yeah, we've been watching LeBron Cozone for a minute. From the time we found out about him on Ashe Wrestling to the whole DPW
Man.
thing, and then we didn't even know. Like, he'll tell you, when I first seen the Blonde Cozone, I was like, yo, this dude different. Like, you know what I mean?
Dude.
He's like, he was ice cold in the ring. Like, I'm talking about, and I'm not talking about ice cold, like, I'm talking about like ice cold, like Dean Malenko ice cold, like, you know, technical savvy. He had the technical savvy. He had in-ring presence. You know what I mean? He could talk. He was a high flyer, super strong. So it was like, Jesus Christ, you know, and then to find out that he's training a lot of the guys that we see now on TV, was like, no wonder. You know what I mean? So it was like, it's amazing to see where he was at then, and then now where he's going to be now. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy, you know. So it just goes to show, you know, he has good tutorship, good leadership, and he's just like genuine at what he does. You know what I mean? You said it yourself, like, he doesn't hold nothing back. You know what I mean? He's not a gatekeeper. So it's just
Man. He truly wants everyone that walks through his school and everyone that walks through his doors. He truly wants everyone to succeed. He truly wants everyone to be something in this business. And he's not selfish about it. You know what I mean? That was his primary concern. You know, if you asked Cozy a couple of years ago, like, you know, I just want to train the best wrestlers in the world, man. But now he is one of the best wrestlers in the world. So, I mean, he always was too. You know, he always was. He always had that talent. He always had that ability. And it's just now that he started to put more time into himself on top of training the next superstars. Now it's just like, all right, well, there you go, man. That's why you see all these guys in AEW and WWE and TNA, because they came from him. You know what I mean? And it's funny when you're sitting there saying, like, he was just how you watch him in the ring. Like, there's a, you know, we always say, like, LeBron's like the ballerina of the ring, because he's just so goddamn, like, fluid and graceful in everything that he does. Like, he will take your damn head off at the same time, man, and just look beautiful doing it too. You know what I mean? He's just like, I can't even want to say he's so underrated now, because he's not underrated. It's just now people realize just how fucking good that guy really is. And it's just like so awesome to see that more and more people are starting to realize just how incredible of a talent LeBron Cozone is.
Yeah, no, he's amazing talent. He instantly got inserted as one of my favorite indie guys. You know what I mean? So he, like, we were just talking about him just the other day. You know, it's like he's amazing.
Brother just got off of a WWE tryout too last week.
Yep. It was a lot of other wrestling content creators were speaking on it. We even spoke about it a bit on our show, and we were just giving props, because some of the guys that got those tryouts, they were on our show. So it was like, yo, we was like, wow, like, we just had probably the next generation of WWE superstars on our show.
Probably,
like, you
Probably.
know, yeah. So it's a blessing and an honor to, you know, just see the evolution of a lot of those guys, man. So
it's awesome. It's awesome to see, and it's so good for the business too, man, because it's just like, you know, us growing up, we all had our favorite superstars, right? We all had the ones we wanted to watch on TV, and it's just such a good feeling to know that these kids in the next 5 to 10 years are going to be able to watch these guys on TV, and these guys are going to be their favorites because they are the next generation of superstars in this business. So it's good to know that like the business is in good hands moving forward for the next 5 to 10 years, just with the amount of talent that's out there and that is being produced right now.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. All right, so let's switch gears a little bit. All right, so I want to discuss a few things about you. So every performer has a turning point. Was there a specific match or moment where you felt the Alex Evans character truly clicked with the audience?
Yeah, I do. It was 3 years ago now. Firestar Pro Wrestling every year puts on their WrestleMania, right? It's called Wrestle Revival, and I want to say it was Wrestle Revival 9, so I think it was 3 years ago, and I was in a tag team TLC match for the Firestar tag team titles, and it was myself, my partner Mark James, and 2 other tag teams that were in that match, and everyone in that match knew like it's going to make or break us, and this is where we need to show out, right? Like we need to go out there and have a banger and do what we need to do to make sure that these people, when they leave tonight, that is one of the things that they remember from the night. And that match, it's kind of like a running joke. I've been in like 4 TLC matches now, but that was the one that set me off, man. And I remember that match was the one I feel like where people watched and they were just like, all right, like I think Alex Evans is going to be around for a little bit. You know what I mean? It was just a hell of a match. And then after the match, I just cut the promo of my life in the back, just with all the adrenaline and emotion. That was actually the night that I won my first ever championship anywhere. So that was really cool and special for me. But I would have to say, yeah, definitely that match, that tag team TLC at Wrestle Revival 9 for Firestar was, I think, the one that said, okay, Alex Evans is valid. He's legit. Let's see what happens from here. So I'd have to say that for sure.
Wow, that's what's up. It's funny you mentioned Mark James. Shout out to Mark James. He just followed us day before yesterday. He followed one of our channels. So I appreciate the follow. Appreciate the follow. Yeah. We definitely gotta get you on the show so we could talk. Yeah. Let's get into this part. So in the industry that is consistently evolving, how do you balance staying true to your original style while adapting to the modern era of wrestling?
Yeah, like you have to be able to constantly evolve, right? And I don't want to say like it's because of like trends that are going on in wrestling or fads or anything like this, but like the business and the sport itself evolves all the time. And you look at wrestling from the 80s, right? Big guys, not very athletic. You weren't seeing anyone doing flips or anything like that, right? It was just these big, larger than life personas, right? Then you get into the 90s and it's just like, okay, now it's these guys and they're still big, but they're more athletic, they're more agile, they're doing things that these guys 10 years ago weren't doing, right? Mm-hmm. Then you get into like the Attitude Era, right? You get the Stone Cold Steve Austins, you get the Rocks, you get the Triple H's. Then you go into the 2000s, right? The Ruthless Aggression Era. You get like John Cena's, the Brock Lesnar's and stuff like that. So the business itself is always constantly evolving, right? So if you can't evolve with it, you know what I mean? You're going to, I don't want to say left out, but it's going to pass you by. You know what I mean? Like, you look at someone even just like, it's a prime example. It's a great example. Look at someone like The Undertaker, right? The Undertaker for 30 years had to constantly change, right? He changed, he evolved, whether it was his appearance, what he did in the ring, moves, how he walked, how he talked, all that stuff. You have to be able to be able to do stuff like that too. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it doesn't mean switching up your style. Maybe, Does it mean switching up your moveset? Maybe. Does it mean changing your character or the way you talk or the way you do things? It could be a mixture of all those things, right? But you have to be able to know when you need to change and evolve to stay relevant and be able to stay in the mix of what the state, what the current state of professional wrestling is, right? Could you take someone like the Ultimate Warrior and put him in a ring today, and would he be as relevant and as cool as he was in the 80s, early 90s? Probably not. You know what I mean? Because you probably couldn't keep up with 90% of the guys in the business right now. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you got to be able to adapt and you got to be able to change, and whatever that means, it could, like I just said, it can mean a plethora of shit. Whatever that means, you have to be able to do it and do it with poise, and accuracy. And if you can do that, you will have a very long, healthy career. Hopefully, I would.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny you say that because if you look at the styles in the 80s as far as professional wrestling, it was these big, mountain, larger than life guys that could slam you through a brick wall and had this like towering presence, and cut these amazing, colorful promos. And then you get into the 90s, and then that you get these big guys still, just like you said, but they're more athletic. I remember seeing Scott Steiner do a Frankensteiner. Then he did like a 450, and I'm like, yo, this guy, is he a video game character or something? Like, dude is big as Brock Lesnar doing 450. And the funny thing is, he never get credit. He never got credit for the 450.
He invented that shit.
He invented it. And I was like, because I remember seeing an interview with him, and then he spoke about it, and he never got credit for doing the 450 at his size. But then if you see it now, it's like everybody else is taking credit for it. Hell, even Brock Lesnar, who did it, but what I'm saying, it didn't go so well for him as far as where he landed or whatever. But
see, that's like what we were just talking about though too, right? Like Scott Steiner invented that 450 splash, right? Mm-hmm. But it was just like the time period in which he did it. People looked at that and were like, "The hell was that? Like, that's not rough." Like now look, you know what I mean? Now everybody is doing 450 splashes. Everyone does that. But even though he invented it, when he did it, that wasn't the style, right? That wasn't where wrestling still was about big guys hitting hard, and no one was doing. They looked at that like, man, you don't belong doing. That's not wrestling. Well, now look at it. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's doing that shit now. So.
Yeah, true indeed. And to correct myself, Scott Steiner did a 450. Brock Lesnar did the shooting star. So that was my fault. He did the shooting star, but it's kind of like the same thing. You know what I mean? So like I said, I was like shocked when I seen the video, and I was like, he's the one that invented that. I was like, that's crazy. Dude is like almost 300 pounds. How did he do that? So, it's. I feel like he was ahead of his time. He was ahead of his time. He definitely, was way out of space when it came to like move sets and stuff like that. So you absolutely. Sure. You kind of answered this question earlier with Dub, but I'm still gonna go through the question anyway. Who were the mentors or veterans who gave you the piece of advice that still rings in your head before you walk through the curtain?
Cozy, 100%. Like, to this day, you know what I mean? Like, if I have like a big match or an important match or main event somewhere that's going on, I'll text them like the night before. I'll shoot him a message. I was like, "Hey man," I was like, "What you got for me? Give me some advice. Like, what can I do? Talk me out here." And he'll send me something back that'll just like inspire the shit out of me, man. That'll make me just want to run through a damn brick wall. You know what I mean? And it's just definitely Cozy. I look up to him immensely, and I value his opinion and I trust his word. If he tells me to do something, I know it's with good intent. If he tells me not to do something, I know it's for a good reason. We talked about Mark earlier, Mark James too. You know what I mean? He's been my tag partner now for, I want to say like 3 years, 3.5. And even though, we travel and we've been so many places, he's not going to sugarcoat shit. You know what I mean? He will tell me just like it is. We'll get to the back after match. Why'd you do that, Alex? I was like, oh, because this. Then he goes, well, it wasn't bad. He goes, but you should have done it here instead, or should have done this. Whatever. Not like belittling me or talking down to me. It's just like trying to make me better. Make me understand the whys and the wheres and stuff like that. But yeah, man. So like Cozy, Mark James are people's opinions that I value when it comes to professional wrestling. I've gotten the chance to work with going back with like Jackson Drake. You know what I mean? And even though like he's younger than me, he's been doing this longer than me, and he's clearly doing something right because of where he is now. So I value his opinion and advice and stuff that he tells me too. But yeah, I feel like I've been very fortunate enough to surround myself with some really great minds in this business, and people that really know what they're doing. And also on top of that too, the people that really, they want me to succeed. You know what I mean? They have my best interest at heart. So I trust their input and I listen to it. Because I know it's all for the right reasons. So yeah, I'd definitely have to say those individuals for sure.
Yeah, I think it's important to be able to take creative criticism, especially when it's coming from a positive place, because first of all, you'll know if it's coming from a positive place. You know what I mean? You could read it right away and understand that this person wants me to excel. Being an artist with music and art, being able to draw, graphic design, all that stuff myself, I take pride in creative criticism because I know it's going to make me better. If I didn't, especially when it came to music, if I didn't, I probably wouldn't have gotten to the places that I've gotten, when I was younger, all the way and even till now, like he'll tell you, like I'm a very hard critic when it comes to, trying to elevate myself. He'll even tell you this too, because I took a back seat towards my music or whatever because I wanted this podcast and the wrestling content to flourish. You know what I mean? Especially when we were getting into a certain pocket that I didn't think we would get into so soon. You know how you just get elevated into a certain pocket because people like your vibe and whatever, and they put you in a certain place, and then you just start elevating so quick. So I kind of I was like, yo, like I didn't know how to juggle the two. So I said, all right, so let me slow down with this. And let me see where this is going to go because what I do right here could help me elevate this,
Yep.
So I had to, it was like I almost had to sacrifice something, but then he sat down with me on the phone the other day, like maybe a few weeks ago. And he was like, yo, bro, cause I did some creative, as you can see, we use a lot of AI. So I did something creative with the AI where I started ghostwriting for the AI version of myself. And then it was coming out so crazy. He was like, yo, man, you got to get back into your bag as far as your music. And I was like, yeah, you right, bro. Like, I definitely got to. And I just started writing now. I got a few songs that I'm working on for the podcast. And,
there you go.
Moving forward. So like, I get it, man. Creative criticism is definitely important. Although sometimes people take it differently, I feel like you can't be sensitive in the business of professional wrestling, You can't be
No.
sensitive. You gotta have an open ear.
No, yeah, and you have to realize and you have to understand when you need to for lack of a better terms, when you need to shut your mouth and open your ears,
Mhm.
right? Because we all like to think we know everything. You know what I mean? We all like to think we know what's best. Like there's been plenty of times where I could walk through the curtain after a match and be like, "Oh, that was awesome. Did you see it? Like that was good stuff." Yeah, it was, but why? You know what I mean? Like, why did you? And I could have very easily been like, "Man, who are you to tell me that? Did you hear the crowd?" Like, no, that's not the point. The point is what's going to make the crowd keep coming back to see you. You know what I mean? So it's just like wrestling isn't rocket science, right? And this is a quote from Jake the Snake Roberts that I will carry with me forever. And it's wrestling isn't rocket science, right? It doesn't matter if the fans or whoever's watching, it doesn't matter if they love you or hate you, as long as they remember you, right? So that's why I feel like, the what's and the why are just as important as the physicality of what you're doing, the reasoning behind it. You know what I mean? Why did you do this at this particular time in this particular moment means way more than the actual like act of what you're doing, if that makes sense.
Mhm. No, exactly. It makes perfectly good sense. The artistry of professional wrestling is definitely like painting a picture. You know what I
Yeah, man.
mean?
It's an art, right? Like you just said it. It is an art form.
Mhm.
It's an art. It's a physical art form. So yes, you're painting a picture. You're telling a story with chapters in it.
Mhm.
You walk out there. It's chapter one. When that 3 count happens at the end of the match, that's the either the end of that chapter or the end of that book, right? But you still got a story to tell because if your story finished right there, well, then when you come back next time, what's the crowd going to be into? Are they just coming to watch you have another match? Okay, cool, that's great. But then what? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that leads me to my to this last question before I pass it over to my boy, right? So we said that wrestling is an artistry. We know that already, right? So
Mhm.
what do you think of promotions booking a certain talent and then they're like kind of give you chicken scratch. They're not putting this talent in position to flourish. They're giving you like I don't know, like instead of giving you Mrs. Dash, they're giving you sand pieces, sprinkles of sand and dirt, and they're saying, yeah, that's the best season in the world. Yeah, you gotta take it and you gotta eat it and you're gonna like it. Yeah, So
Mhm.
what do you think of that?
Uh, so look it's a double-edged sword. I feel like um, with that question, right? People are going to realize and they're going to acknowledge raw talent. They're going to realize when someone has that proverbial it factor, right? Like they got something about them. And if a promotion drops the ball on somebody because they wanted to have a big bang now instead of the big payoff down the road, that's on them. You know what I mean? As a performer and as an athlete, I'm not going to take an offense to that, right? Because respectfully to whatever promotion, it's not the only game in town, right? And if you don't value what I'm trying to bring to the table now, and then next month, and then 6 months down the road, and then next year, well, okay, well, I'm going to pull a LeBron. I'm going to take my talents elsewhere, and then I'll go do it somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of places where you can go and hone your craft and make your way, right, in this business. And look, it happens. It happens in every facet of entertainment. It happens in in show business, it happens in wrestling. Like, you're not going to be a big star everywhere you go, and that's okay. It's part of the grind. It's part of the struggle. But at the end of the day, as long as you stick to your guns and stick to what you were taught and what you know is best for you and, the business and the sport as a whole, you will get to where you want to go, because there's no looking past just raw talent, right? There's no looking past an individual that has that it factor, no matter where they're seen. Doesn't matter if it's in front of 20 people or 20,000 people. Someone is going to see it, right? Someone's going to see it. The right person's going to see it. And then that's what's going to count at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree 110%. Like, we the fans are going to be able to see the talent and know that their talent's going to flourish wherever the talent goes. So you're absolutely right. It's just sometimes frustrating, watching products and being such a fan, and then on top of that, watching wrestling for so many years and understanding the psychology behind it. So then when a promotion just like kind of just gives you something that they know they could do better with, it just kind of like pisses me off, because it's like, are you playing with my intelligence, or you just want me to absorb it as a fan and just accept it when I know you're capable of doing better, and that just kind of annoys the crap out of me.
Sure. Like, think of it like this, right? Like, you're out of South Jersey, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So say you went to an indie show in Jersey, and, smaller indie promotion, say maybe there's 20, 30 people in the crowd, fans. And Javon Evans was on the crowd, or Javon Evans was on the card, right? And say he was the third match, and you go out there and you watch Javon Evans work. And off the bat, you see that kid and you're like, God damn, this boy is special, right? Cool. But then he loses to the promoter's best friend's son, who's been training and wrestling for 3 months. But cool, right? You walked out of there. You didn't give a shit about the guy that Javon lost to. You walked out of that place and you were like, that Javon Evans, that boy is going to be something. Right. Somewhere, someday, he's going to be. So it's like that, right? And there's so many instances where it's like that too. So, like I said, if you went and saw Javon Evans in Jersey in a small independent promotion, 20 fans in there, they ain't going to remember the main event. They're not. I'm sorry. They're not. They're going to remember Javon Evans and what he did in the show he put on. And then they're going to follow that kid around, right? They're going to follow him around because they know the dude's going to be a star. Lo and behold, here we are. Javon Evans is a damn superstar right now.
Yeah, that's kind of that's how I feel about Darius Carter. I feel like Darius Carter is going to be that guy, we're going to watch like sooner or later, in one of these big time promotions on TV, just from
absolutely.
That's how I feel. Go ahead, bro.
So do you prefer to work as a babyface or a heel?
A heel. I do.
It's funny. Everybody we've asked that question to, they've all said heel.
It's heel. So I remember, like, when I was, training at Firestar, and Cozy was getting ready to start putting me like on shows and on cards and then matches on his shows and stuff. I remember he just told me, just like, you're just kind of like you're a natural heel. He said to me, he's like, like your look, your build, the way you talk, this, that, and the other. He goes, it just seems like it's easy, like it's natural for you to be a heel. Like, you could be a really good asshole. I was like, yeah, I can do that. That's easy. You know what I mean? Like, shit. Like, and not get in trouble for it. Come on, sign me up. Yeah, no, I would prefer, I prefer working heel over babyface any day.
And I can see that too, because like a lot of people down here in the South look at people, mainly people from the New Jersey / New York area, as assholes anyway.
Man, I moved down to North Carolina, and like, again, I'm from upstate New York, right? I remember when I moved down to North Carolina, like I would just be like in the grocery store, like walking in the grocery, like I could feel like the side eyes. I'm like, damn, like, do I smell or something? Like, what the hell is going on? Like, these people didn't say a word to me, but they would look at me like, oh man, you're one of them Northerners, aren't you? Like, like, yes, I am proudly, yes. But yeah, man, yeah, no, definitely heel work. I love the freedom that you kind of have with it, right? And I also feel like when you work heel, you get a lot more opportunities to work with a lot more talent as well. So that's another huge perk. But yeah, definitely heel over babyface for sure.
So, with that being said, give me 4 or 5 your favorite heels of all time.
I'd probably say Triple H is up there, for sure. Man, I'll tell you, when Austin was a heel, after his run, he was a big baby face, but like he turned on when he joined Vince McMahon at WrestleMania 17, and he was a man. That was awesome. I loved Booker T as a heel, man. Especially when he did that whole King Booker gimmick too, dude. It was just like, oh god, that was such money, man. It was so good. Great heel work by him. But even dude, I mean, Bret Hart too. When Bret Hart was a heel, like, I feel like he was such an underrated heel. You know, when he turned bad guy and he was a heel, and it was like the whole like Canada against America thing, and this just the shit that he would come out and say was great. And then, Shawn Michaels. You look at like DX Shawn Michaels and just the shit that he was doing. I mean, forget him being one of the most athletically gifted wrestlers to ever step foot in the ring, but just his heel work too, man. You just like, you wanted to hate him so bad because he was such a dick. You know what I mean? But he was just too damn good, and you're just like, God, this dude's just cool as shit, man. Even though he's a bad guy, definitely. So yeah, I'd definitely say those are definitely good 4 or 5 heels that I'd love to watch.
Make your own faction. Give me, if male, female, doesn't matter, of a great heel faction that you could see headlining WrestleMania or All In or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Build your own. It can be current. It can be past.
I would put Triple H. I would put heel Seth Rollins in there. Got to put the dirtiest player in the game, Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Put him in there. And bro, I would put like Rhea Ripley. Throw her in there as that badass female too, man. Even when she like Judgment Day, Rhea Ripley, like heel Rhea Ripley when she turned heel. Yeah, I would. Man, that's a hell of a faction, bro. Think about that for a second. You put freaking Triple H, Seth Rollins, Nature Boy, Ric Flair, and Rhea Ripley. I would pay a $100 ticket to a show to see them out there for sure. Definitely.
And what's crazy about that is we've seen Triple H and Ric Flair together. We've seen Triple H and Seth Rollins together.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look at that! What a coincidence! Yeah. What a coincidence! Yeah, man. And it was it was money, right? It was money. We're still talking about Evolution today, right? We just brought that up. Yeah. You know, so we're still talking about the Authority today when it was Triple H and Seth and Kane and Stephanie and all that shit. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, throw Stephanie McMahon in there too, man. Heel Stephanie McMahon. Ooh, that's a bad one right there.
One good slap. Just one good slap.
That's it, man. I'd throw her in there for sure. Absolutely.
So you prefer to play a heel.
Mm-hmm.
What babyface could you see yourself just like making magic with?
Like, are we talking like in general, like WWE, Indies, or what? Just like
whoever, WWE, AEW, TNA, Indies, makes no difference. Like, who is one babyface that you feel like you can make just absolute magic with? Kind of like 2009 bald head Randy Orton kissing on Stephanie McMahon, and then you got Triple H. Them that was just like magic. Who would be your Triple H to you being Randy Orton?
I would have to say, which again, I think it would be amazing. I think it'd be magic if you could put like 2026 Alex Evans in a ring with like 1994, 1995 Bret Hart. Oh man, like I feel like magic because Bret was just such a believable baby, man. He was so good. He was one of the WWE Indies. Yeah, man. Like it was, and Bret for me too. Like he was that first transitional guy, right? He was that first guy when they got out of that golden era of wrestling, when they got out of the big bodybuilder monster guys, right? They went from like Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan to like Ric Flair as like the big heel. Then Bret was that next champion. You know what I mean? He was that next WWE champion. That was that baby face that was huge, like all over this world, man. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's like a dream match for me would be Alex Evans against babyface Bret Hart.
That would be fun. That would be so
No,
fun.
yeah.
So, like we started out the show saying, we've seen you in some different promotions. What is your favorite promotion to work for outside of your home promotion, which is Firestar Pro Wrestling?
Probably my favorite promotions that I've been able to work for, where I really think like my best work has been, Newborn Championship Wrestling, and more recently, within the last year, ACW, Alternative Championship Wrestling. I love working those places, man. I've been a singles champ for NBW for a little over a year now, and I've just been able to have some awesome matches. It's honestly some of the best matches of my career so far there in singles competition. And then at ACW with Mark and I, we've just been having a lot of fun, man. There's a lot of talent that comes in there. The promoters are great. The promotion itself is great. So I would definitely say NBW and ACW are definitely promotions to keep on your radar. And they're actually now like starting to do like joint shows, like cross promotional stuff together too. So it's fucking awesome. But definitely those two promotions is where outside of Firestar,
Right.
outside of Firestar, definitely those two.
You've done some work with DCW too, correct?
DCW too, yeah, man. We had a lot of fun at DCW. Had a lot of fun working with Dynamite, man, and DCW. We did a TLC match with Dynamite and his then tag team partner AC Divine, then another tag team, the Radical City Kings, and it was a lot of fun, man. We had a nice little program with Dynamite and his partner. He's a blast to work with. He's so good too, man, and he's been doing a lot more single stuff recently as well. Outside of tag team, because he really just used to do a lot of tag team wrestling with his partner for a long time. Now he branched off. He's doing a lot of singles work. I'm so happy about that because he is super talented dude, super fun to wrestle. So it was always a fun time to be able to do that with him at DCW as well too. Definitely.
Because AC Divine just turned on him, if I'm not
He did.
mistaken. Yeah,
He did.
yeah.
He did. Yeah. See, it ain't all that bad being a bad guy, AC. It's kind of fun, you know what I'm saying? You see? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Where does Alex Evans see himself within the next 5 to 7 years?
Man, if I'm fortunate and blessed enough to wrestle for another 5 to 7 years, that's where I see myself. And I see it. I truly, like in my heart, man, in my gut, I truly believe that I would have something to bring to the table for one of these bigger promotions out there. So whether it's a TNA, I was fortunate enough to do some stuff with TNA a couple times here in the last year and a half. definitely plan on going back there. Actually, fairly soon. I plan on going back there. But yeah, man, I just
Breaking news.
no, I wish. Uh, but no, yeah, I was fortunate enough to do some stuff with TNA in 2020. Shit, it was 2024 and 2025. Planning to do so here again shortly in 2026. So yeah, I definitely, if I'm like again, if I'm able and I'm fortunate and blessed enough to, I would definitely love to be, showcasing my talents and being able to do something on a grander stage. And then whenever I decide, I plan on doing this till the wheels fall off, brother. Right until I can't do it no more, I plan to do it. And then even after when that chapter might be done, I still just see myself being involved in some form or capacity, whether it's running a promotion, working backstage, behind the scenes. It's just, I love this business, man. I love everything that it's about. I love everything that it entails. So if I'm fortunate and blessed enough to, I definitely want to be involved in it, some form or capacity, for a very long time.
Absolutely. Is there a promotion outside of TNA, because you've already done some work with TNA? So that leaves what, WWE, AEW, GCW, Hog, even some Japan stuff. Would you be interested in Japan?
Love to go to Japan. I'd really love to go wrestle in Mexico as well, man. I think that would be dope. Japan. MLW too, though, man. I would love to do some work with MLW too. They got a lot going on for them right now. They got a lot of talent on their roster. I mean, Killer Cross just won their heavyweight title last night. You know what I mean? So they got it going on too now, man. And they're like their home base now is right out of South Carolina, which isn't that far away from North Carolina. So I would definitely love to do some stuff with them too. But outside of like TNA and stuff, yeah, MLW, Japan. I'd even want to get out there and do stuff in Canada too, man. There's a lot of really awesome independent promotions out of Canada that I know some people who have been able to go out there and perform in like the Toronto, Montreal area. So that's on my bucket list to do too.
Is there a certain promotion that I'll limit it to this, because all these other ones that we've named, they'll take anybody and you can become a star at any of them, right? But AEW and WWE, is there a certain one that you feel fits your skill set better than the other?
Ooh, in a perfect world, I like to perform in a very story-driven environment, right? I really enjoy like the what's and the why. And okay, let's do this now. What are we going to do next month then? What are we going to do in 2 months? What about next year? Where are we taking this? I feel like WWE is more like storyline driven and story driven, while still being able to incorporate the incredible athletes and wrestlers that they have. And I'm not saying AEW doesn't have storylines and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Not at all. But I just feel like WWE is better, if you will, in that aspect of it. So I would say WWE over AEW for sure.
So we know WWE likes to start off newer talent in the NXT. So is there certain individuals within NXT that you can see yourself going up against?
Yeah. I really like Miles Bourne. I've seen a lot of his stuff more recently on NXT. I love the way he works. Ricky Saint is phenomenal. I'd love to do stuff with him. He's amazing. My boy, Jackson Drake, we've worked with each other a lot. We never got to work against each other. I feel like that would be a fun time as well. So yeah, definitely for sure.
And he just got called up to NXT from Evolve, correct?
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago. Just
Yeah,
2
yeah,
weeks ago.
yeah.
Yeah, the
man.
whole
Yeah.
the whole swipe right got called up.
Right.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like
man.
them. I like them. They
He's up.
remind me.
Family
Yeah,
project, baby.
yeah,
Yeah. Both of
yeah,
them. Yeah.
yeah. They
Yep.
remind me of the Mean Street Posse. They remind me of them.
Man, Jackson is like I don't know. I was like just I in my mind, like Jackson Drake is like Shawn Michaels, like reborn. You know what I mean? Just the way he moves in the ring and the shit that he can do, and the gas tank on that kid too, man. He's a special cat. He's a very special cat, and obviously, there's a reason why he got called up. Not only did he get called up to NXT, he also got called up to NXT as the first ever Evolve champion. So, brother is double duty, right? He's on NXT and he's on Evolve, and he's killing it in both places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nah. Jackson Drake is dope. I remember when I first seen him, I was like, yeah, there's something about this guy that is flourishing. There's a reason why he's elevating so fast. I like the whole swipe right characters just from the jump anyway, just because they reminded me of the Mean Street Posse. So I was like, these guys remind me of Mean Street.
Dr. Thirst, baby. Dr. Thirst.
Yeah.
Heartbreak Drake. Yeah, man. He's the man.
Yeah, man.
He's
I would like to also see you and Sean Legacy.
Sean's a good dude, man. I've never worked him. I've been in the locker room with him once or twice. Really good guy, hell of a freaking worker. Again, there's a reason why he got called up to NXT. You know what I mean? Like literally, they handpicked Shawn Michaels. Like, you got to come up here and really start doing stuff at NXT. I would love to work with Sean Legacy. Dude's super freaking talented.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, bro. I got this little guy right here.
Okay, yeah, no problem. All right, so let's talk about the physicality in professional wrestling. So the physical toll of this business is well documented, but the mental grind is often overlooked. How do you protect your mental health and stay grounded during long tours away from home?
It's tough, man. It's tough, but at the end of the day, you gotta remember why you're there, right? You know what I mean? Even the times I've done stuff for TNA. One time I was fortunate enough where it was like in my backyard. Essentially, it was only like an hour and a half away, so I could go and drive back home, sleep in my own bed every night. But more recently, I remember I did stuff for TNA in Baltimore. So Baltimore from me is about like a 4.5 hour drive. So I think I left my house like Thursday morning around 6 o'clock to get to the arena, checking in my hotel and get to the arena by I think noon. And then there was tapings Thursday night. Friday night was the pay-per-view, and then tapings again Saturday night. And I had to be back in North Carolina the next day on Sunday, because I had a booking and I had a show I needed to be at. The show was earlier on in the afternoon, and I think my call time, I needed to be there at like 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. So like literally the tapings got done at TNA, go back to my hotel room, change, grab my stuff, talk to some people on the way out, and got on the road at like 1:15, 1:30 in the morning. Drove straight back home to Raleigh, North Carolina. I think I got home at like 6:15. Showered, put my shit away. By the time all that was done, it was like 7:30. I think I closed my eyes for like an hour, and then my son woke up because he hadn't seen Daddy in 4 days. So he came busting into the room. So then I had to be super dad for a little bit. And then maybe an hour after that, I had to get back on the road to drive an hour and a half to the show. So yeah, man, it sucks. Your mental health is just as important. You know what? Depending on if not more important than your physical too, right? Because if you don't have your mental, your physical is going to follow, and it's going to go to shit too. So it's really just for me, how do I stay grounded? Is just, constantly like reminding myself of what my purpose is, like why I'm here, why am I doing this? And it's for my son, it's for my family, it's for my loved ones, and it's for my friends. I want them to be able to say like, yeah, man, Alex put in that work. He did it. He made us proud. But I also want to make myself proud too, selfishly, But so yeah, that's how it's tough. It sucks. The mental aspect of it sometimes will eat away at you. But if you just patience, right? Like we talked about in the beginning of the pod, and just reminding yourself of why you're doing what you're doing, and bringing yourself back down and grounding yourself. That's how I get through it personally.
Yeah, I think when it comes to sports, I think the three most mental tough sports that you have to be like really physically capable. Number one is professional wrestling. I would say boxing. I would
Oh
say
yeah.
football, and I would
Mhm.
say basketball.
Yep, for sure.
Because like all those sports I just mentioned, physical contact in some aspects. Basketball, regardless of
Mhm.
what people want to say, it can be very physical. It can be
Absolutely.
very physical. Football, of course, it's physical. Wrestling, you already know it's physical. Boxing, you could put that along the lines with MMA, kickbox, whatever mixed martial art you want. That's
Mhm.
100% physical. So I feel
Yeah.
like if you don't have that mental toughness, that testicular fortitude, I want to use one of Mick Foley's words. If you don't got
Mhm.
that, I feel like you cannot survive in
Yeah.
those fields because you'll definitely get drowned it out very, very fast.
Or hurt very, very
Yeah,
fast.
right, for sure.
You know?
For
Or
sure.
that too.
For
Yeah.
sure. So yeah, I think mental toughness is very important. I also think too, being mentally tough and being able to endure like the obstacles that you come against, especially with other wrestlers. And you know let's just be for real, like every person that you work with, you know you're not going to always see eye to eye. They're probably not always going to like you neither. But the
Well,
one thing that you both can agree upon is that you both have to go home to your family. You know what I'm
yep.
saying? So I feel like just having to endure that and get through that, because I've heard some horror stories. This person don't like this person, so they decided to do this, and that's another thing too. Have you had to run into that, like a person just not liking you for whatever reason, but you have to work with this person in some shape or form? How did you maintain your professionalism in order to get through that without you getting hurt or without them hurting you? Like, how did you do that?
I mean, look, at the end of the day, like this is a professional business, right? You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? I'm not trying to take, you know, money or food off anyone's table for their family or their kids or anything like that. Like, you don't have to like me.
Mm-hmm.
I got enough friends. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily need any more friends. You know, I've never heard anyone ever say, like, well, I got enough money. No, you know what I mean? Like, I got enough friends. You don't have to be my friend. You don't have to want to go out to dinner with me and hang out. Oh, you want to wrestle me? You want to put butts in seats? Okay, cool. Let's do that. Let's be safe. Let's go home at the end of the night
Mm-hmm.
and just be professionals about it. I ain't got to like everyone that I step into the ring with. I can tell you right now, there's been plenty of times where I knew I was going to be working somewhere where, not that I don't listen, I don't got enough time in my life. I don't got enough time in my day to hate nobody. You know what I mean? Because I don't care. I don't. But
Mm-hmm.
I could sit there and say I'm not the biggest fan of certain people, for
Right.
whatever reason, whatever that may be. But I don't trouble myself with that. I get paid to go out there and do a job. I don't get paid to go out there and take whatever personal feelings or personal values I may have that may differ from this person's. That's not what I'm getting paid for. I'm getting paid to go out there and wrestle and to try and show off and entertain the fans. So music hits, bell rings, I'm out there. I'm a professional. I'm gonna make sure you get home safe to your kids. Why? Because I want to get home safe too. You know what I mean? And it's number one rule in wrestling is protect your opponent and protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? So once you lose that, once you don't do that, you're done. You know what I mean? Like if you get, for some reason or another, you get this stigma about you, or you get this reputation like, oh, he goes in there and just fucking hurts everybody. You're done. That's it. Or you get this reputation not being professional. No one's going to want to work with you. A, no promoter is going to want to book you. B, and then you're going to find yourself out of this business quicker than you thought. You know what I mean? So I always just tell myself, listen, I'm not there to make friends. I'm there to be professional. I will take care of you. You take care of me. Let's go out there, have a banger, give them something to remember and go home happy with. And then we go home happy too, in one piece.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And that leads me to a connecting question before I go to this next one. So has it been any point in your career that you've had to like receive a receipt or give a receipt? Has it been any point in your career that happened to you?
I still got a couple receipts due that I got to give to some people, man. I got a couple I still got to give out. I ain't gonna mention any names. So I don't want them to know it's coming, but I got a couple I still got to give out. Look, man, like this isn't ballet, right?
Yeah.
Accidents happen. You know what I mean? Accidents happen, but I also feel like I have pretty good judgment where I can tell if something was an accident.
Yeah.
Or your girl's in the front row, you're trying to show off type thing. You know what I'm saying? Or like your homie's in the front row and you want to look, okay, fine, you go ahead. You look cool. I'm gonna get my get back though. And I got receipts as long as CVS receipts that I've been waiting to give. that I'm sitting on. And they're in my back pocket. So I sleep well at night knowing that they'll get theirs back.
Yeah. I haven't used this sound effect in a while, but you said CVS receipts. We gotta do the Shao Kahn laugh on that.
Hey, you better apologize to Zay Vega. You better apologize because you know he don't like that.
You didn't like that on the show?
No, he didn't. He wasn't a fan of that sound effect.
Nah, yeah. Shout out to Ugly Gang. Yeah, I kind of drowned him out with that one, just messing with him. So
Jay's good people, man. He's another hell of a talent. Him and he does tag work with his tag partner Jordan Holt. Man, they're both super talented, really great guys.
Yeah. No. We love Ugly Gang over here. We Ugly Gang all day. All day. Those are our guys, man. Those are our guys. Yeah. All right. So let me get to this question. So when you are dealing with a nagging injury or a down period, what is the primary motivation that keeps you showing up for the fans?
Man, like I'm sure you all have heard this analogy before. Wrestling is just it's the best drug in the world. You know what I mean? Like it's the best high in the world, and like you're always chasing that high. You know what I mean? You're always chasing just being out there in that ring under those lights, hearing the crowd, and doing all that. So like, you ever wonder why like sometimes like when a professional wrestler gets hurt and they tear their quad or their bicep or their pec or something? Anybody out on the street, they're going to be on the shelf for like over a year. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be on over a year and a half, whatever the case may be. But when it happens to a professional athlete, they miss it, man. You know, they miss that high. They miss that adrenaline rush. So what do? They just boots the asses, put in the work, and then, I remember like John Cena tore his pec muscle. I forgot what year it was, maybe 2009, 2010. And they're like, oh, he's going to be back. He's torn pec muscle. He's like, hey, he's going to be out at least a year. You know what I mean? Like, and then here brother was like 6 months later, he's coming out of Royal Rumble and winning the damn thing. It's like, damn, like how the hell did that happen? Well, it happened because dude wanted to bust his ass to get back out there because he missed what he was doing. It's a huge driving factor. And look, I'm sure there's a financial aspect tied to that too. You ain't wrestling. Yeah, you get guaranteed contracts and stuff like that, but you're not being able to do this extra shit. These appearances, this, that, and just being around the fans and all that shit. When you miss something so much, you do whatever it takes to be able to get back to doing what you can do.
Yeah, most definitely. Speaking of injuries, that reminds me of Cody Rhodes when he wrestled Seth Rollins and his whole arm. Oh my God!
I don't think people realize just like the magnitude of that. Not that we all couldn't see it. You know what I mean? We saw what the hell was going on, but like, dude, like you wrestled the Hell in a Cell match with a completely torn pec muscle. Knowing damn well you were going to go have surgery on it the morning after. It's just, come on, man. Like, that's crazy.
That's
crazy.
That was wild. Me and bro was sitting. We was like, yo, this dude is insane. Like, what would drive him to go do that?
Like, was that like the smartest decision to make? Probably not. Probably wasn't the smartest thing to do. But like, who's going to stop him? You know what I mean? When you have that drive and you have that determination, you feel like you have that responsibility to the fans because you love this business so much. You go out there and you do what you got to do. And he sure as shit did with the torn pec.
Yeah.
It's crazy because I'm a big ass baby when I stub my toe on something. Imagine that.
Yeah, right? And then true. Brother's going out there, Hell in a Cell match with a torn pec, his arm just hanging there. Crazy. It's insane.
Man, that was wild. When I seen that, I said, yeah, this dude, he deserves an award, some sort of like Purple Heart or something, because
yeah, right? Yeah. Give him something.
Yeah, that was crazy. I couldn't believe it. And a lot of people, it was so crazy. People was thinking that, this can't be real. He's not going to be able to do it. No, that was definitely real. Like,
1,000%.
That ain't no way on earth you could put makeup on like that and make
that was no makeup. That's the shit that you don't see. You know what I mean? Usually someone, they tear their pec, you don't see them again. They're not out there wrestling 2 days later. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But that's what happens. That's what it looks like. That's how it is. Mm-hmm. And brother went out there and showed the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yep. And not just that, like if you speaking of that, you can even go even further, like, let's take away the injuries and and put in the fact that you might even have some wrestlers that have disabilities and they're still out there performing at the highest. What about Zach Gowen? You remember Zach Gowen? Oh my God. Yo, I seen this. I said, there's no way he's going to be able to hang in that ring. And he did a hell of a job.
Yeah. He went out there and he got his ass beat by Brock Lesnar one time, I remember.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Oh, my God. I hated Brock Lesnar for that. I wanted to jump in it. I was like, you motherfucker.
But see, he got you, man. He got you. He did his job. He did his job. That was the heel work. Yep.
Yeah, man. He threw dude down the steps. I said, oh, my God.
Yeah. In a wheelchair, I think, too. Wasn't he? Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun. That was good TV.
Yeah.
But you brought up a good one though. When you brought up Miles Bourne, he don't forget he's also deaf.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Mm-hmm. That's insane, dude. That he's dude's got star power for sure. And it's not just because he's good because he has a disability. No, he's good because he's good. But the fact that he's as good as he is with the limitations that life has thrown at him is insane to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On top of that, what is the best advice you could give an up and coming wrestler? I know you've only been in for 4.5 years or so. But from everything that you've seen so far in the wrestling business, what is some good sound advice you would give to a wrestler that's just getting started?
Yeah. So look, like when you're first getting started, this shit's going to suck, right? Like being a professional wrestler is the most unnatural thing you could try to teach yourself to do, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, just think about it. If you were walking out, we were just talking before we came on about like ice storms and snowstorms and all that shit. Say you're shoveling your driveway, right? And you go to shovel your driveway and you go to fall on your back. What are you going to do instinctively?
Put your hands down.
Put your hands down. You try and put your hands down in a wrestling ring when you take a body slam or a power bomb or anything like that. You will snap your shit right off or break something, right? So you literally have to like retrain your brain to do the complete opposite of what you've been doing your entire life. You know what I mean? So it's gonna suck. It's gonna take time. It doesn't tickle. It hurts. You know what I mean? You're going to be sore in places you didn't know you could be sore in. But you just got to stick with it, man. You know, I don't want to say it doesn't get better, right? You know, it doesn't get easier. Like taking a bump in the ring is going to feel the same. You know, it doesn't feel good. You know, it's an unnatural thing that you're doing. But I will say you get used to it, right? You know what I mean? It's part of the game. It's part of the business. It's what has to happen to be a professional wrestler. So I promise you, it's going to suck. It'll be one of the absolute most like difficult things that you can possibly do. But if you surround yourself with the good people, with the right trainers who have your best interest at heart, who want to see you succeed, they will make sure that you get there if you put in the work. So have patience, open your ears, open your eyes, and just be able to take the direction well is the best advice that I could try and give somebody.
Embrace the suck.
Embrace the suck. It's going to suck. Embrace it. Both hands. Just bring it on in. You know what I'm saying? Like, embrace that bitch. It's going to suck, but it'll be worth it.
Speaking of suck, what would you say is the suckiest match you've been in?
Like suckiest in terms of like me like getting hurt or like it just sucked or like something happened in the match. I was like, what the hell are we doing out here?
How can I put it? Because I always ask this question, but I always ask it differently. The most painful match you've ever been in, you know, because you know Texas death matches are a thing, you know. So
yeah. Definitely the TLC matches, man. Those suck so bad. And you don't think about it when you're out there because your adrenaline's going and the crowd's into it and you're feeling it. But fuck, man, when you're driving home a couple hours later and when you wake up the next morning, oof. I remember, true story, after my first ever TLC match that I won the Firestar Tag Championships in with Mark. I ended up being laid out on a door that was like between the guardrail and the ring apron. And I was laid out on that. And another tag team in that match, there's a guy by the name of Chris Young. Phenomenal talent out of Firestar too. Guy's so good. And I was laid out on that door and he jumped off the top rope and he splashed me through that door. And you got to be – nothing goes as planned, right? Yeah, I mean, nothing ever goes the way you think it's going to go. In my eyes, I thought, okay, brother's going to jump on me. We're going to go through that table. The table will break like this. I'll have a nice little landing. We'll be fine. Fuck no. The table just imploded, and it didn't bend. It broke, man. It just went straight down to the floor, and I hit the back of my head like on the guardrail, and then it was in a big, huge gym too. So it was like those basketball floors, you know what I mean? So then my head smacked off of that, and I couldn't hear shit, right? It just sounded, I was out like a light. It just sounded all muffled and like I was going through a wind tunnel. I remember, shout out to Yo-Yo, one of the best refs in the area. She came over and she kind of took my hand and she's like, Alex, are you okay? Are you okay? And she was like over here and I could hear her talking. Like I could hear her saying, are you okay? Are you okay? But I couldn't Like I couldn't get anything out. You know what I mean? I just remember just like I looked at her and she's like, nope, no, you're not. No, you are not okay, sir. So I was like, give me a minute. You know what I mean? That match sucked the most. I've been in several other TLC matches after that, but that being like my first one, not really knowing what to expect and how shit was actually going to feel. And then I went into that and I was like, God, this sucks, man. This hurts. Like, doesn't feel good at all. That one sucked the most for sure.
So, what would you say is the most fun you've had in a match? What kind of match was it?
How stupid is this going to sound? A TLC match. You know what I mean? It's so fun. They suck, but like the creativity that you can get involved in those matches, man, and the shit that you can do with the right opponents. And man, I can't say I've ever had a bad one. You know, I don't plan on ever having a bad one. I don't plan on having that many more of those if I have a say in it. But definitely the most fun and the most suckiest were the TLC matches.
Is there a specific match that you would like to be part of that you haven't been part of yet?
I would love to do an Iron Man match.
Ooh.
Yeah, I would love to do, whether it's 30 minutes, an hour, or something. I mean, talk about just putting yourself to the test, man, and driving yourself to the limits. I would love to get in there with someone that I could go 30 to 60 minutes with, and just because, look, you got to be able to go out there and work a 30, 60-minute match. You know what I mean? So A, you got to be in the best shape of your life. B, you got to be able to come up with shit that's going to keep a crowd and keep fans involved and interested in your match for 30 to 60 minutes. So you're not going to be able to go out there and do the shit that you're used to doing. You're going to have to switch it up. You can do the shit that you're used to doing, but that ain't going to last no 30, 60 minutes. You know what I mean? So that I would love to do that, just to be able to allow myself to like think out the box, you know, and push myself. That is definitely something that is on my bucket list for sure.
You got any more questions for him, Bars?
No, we could. As far as my questions, I'm good. Yeah.
All right, let's do this real quick. I got a few quick hitting questions as we wind this down.
Cool.
Mount Rushmore Pro Wrestling.
Okay. Ric Flair, Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels. See, it's a toss-up. I was either going to throw Brett in there or The Undertaker, just for his longevity and just who he is. I'm going to have to go Undertaker, man.
Undertaker. That's not bad. Yeah. That's not bad. A lot of I've given this answer before, and a lot of people find me crazy, or they just don't like, dang, I forgot all about him. But I like to throw in there Mr. Perfect, Curt Hennig.
Mr. Perfect. You ever get that question? Like, you see people ask that question, like, who's the one guy that was never world heavyweight champion that should have been world heavyweight champion? Every single damn time, it's Mr. Perfect, Rick Rude, Owen Hart. That's my list. Yep. Those are the three people that are just like, whose business decision was it to not make one of these guys, a heavyweight champion? But no, if Mount Rushmore had 5 spots on it, Mr. Perfect's on there, bro, for sure.
Not to cut you off, but you know who I get pissed about that never received the world title in WWE besides the Intercontinental title? Razor Ramon.
Man, that's another one, right?
Yeah.
Scott Hall, even when he was in WCW, like, how did he not get, a run with that belt, man? The dude was, and aura was 1,000, right? You cannot tell me there was a cooler motherfucker than Scott Hall in the NWO. Like, there just wasn't. There wasn't. Yeah. Hell yeah. Hey, yo. Man,
hey, yo.
Yeah, you go out there and you cut that survey, and you're part of the NWO, and he was another guy that I just don't understand how he never was world heavyweight champion too.
And rest in peace to Owen and Rick Rude and Mr. Perfect and Scott Hall. Rest in peace to them.
Man. Yeah. That's crazy to think about all those guys we just listed off, man, aren't with us anymore. Damn.
It is. It is. It's
That's
like
That's
piece
wild.
of your childhood is just like gone with it, just because we grew up watching them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know your age, and you don't have to tell us your age, but I'm 40. He's 45, 50, 55, somewhere around there.
Oh, this guy, man. This guy.
No, man, that's a good point though too, because I recently I saw this picture. I forgot if it was on Facebook or Instagram, but do you remember back in like 97, 98 when they had the Heart Foundation again? And there's a picture of the whole Heart Foundation, and Brett is the only one that is still alive out of all of them. Bulldog, Owen, Pillman, Neidhart all passed away. And it's just like, holy shit, man! Like,
it's crazy to just think about. It really is.
Nuts,
like
that's
nuts.
nuts.
Like, you think about the ladder matches that Razor had with Shawn Michaels, like two of the greatest intercontinental title matches that you will ever see was Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon.
In those two ladder matches. Yeah.
Yeah. And I can still remember as a kid trying to spit my gum out and smacking it, see how far it goes. Just so,
I still do it every day. I do that now. Fuck being a kid. I do it now.
I do.
What the hell?
My wife thinks I'm crazy.
No.
My wife thinks I'm crazy when I do it.
Yeah. Sometimes I do it in like weird ass places too, like where I'm not thinking. Like I'll be in the grocery store and I'll just be like, smack that gum across the, oh shit, I'm in the grocery store. Shit. I can't do
that. Throwing the towel behind your back and catching it. It's like some of the
you remember back like Mr. Perfect. I studied that man so much, but he would do those crazy like vignettes where like he's hitting holes in one of these. I remember one. God, I think who was he? It was him and Wade Boggs, I want to say. And he freaking hits the baseball, but then he runs it to the outfield and it catches it. Oh, it was so good. So good.
Yeah, what about the basketball one when he shot the ball?
Behind him?
He shot the ball behind him. Yeah, I was like, yeah.
Somehow he managed to play pool, and on that break, every damn ball went in some hole, too. It was crazy. Yeah, I remember that one, too. That was good shit. That was good, too.
Man.
For sure.
Childhood.
They don't make them like that anymore, man.
They sure don't.
No.
Best heel of all time.
Ric Flair.
Shout out to
Ric Flair. Nature Boy. You can't tell me for what Ric Flair did, especially as a heel, when he was like NWA champion, and he literally went across this country and across this world as a heel, and he could step into the ring with whatever territory's top babyface was and make them look like $1 million and still be hated the whole time, but he was so good. At the same time, Ric Flair for me, definitely.
I can see that. Definitely could. All right. So on the other side, best babyface of all time.
John Cena. John Cena has to be. I just think for longevity-wise, and I mean, yeah, for me it's John Cena. I'm not saying he's my most favorite babyface of all time. I'm just saying, if we're looking at it from a business standpoint, has to be John. Who else would it be?
He looked like he got something to say. He looked like he about to say something.
Nah, go ahead. I just a question just popped in my head. So,
okay, I'll ask a couple more. Match that made you fall in love with wrestling.
WrestleMania. I always loved it, right? I always loved wrestling, but I'll never forget WrestleMania 12, the Iron Man match with Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. You never saw an Iron Man match before, right? And you were going in, there was like two baby faces. Well, who are you going to cheer for? And then they went out there and had that crazy ass match. That's when I was just like, God damn, what do I got to do, bro? Like, you know what I mean? Like someone that's what sealed the deal for me for sure.
And it's crazy that you say that because whenever I asked you what match you wanted to be part of and you said Iron Man, the first thing that popped in my head was Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart.
1000%. Yeah, that's the GOAT of Iron Man matches, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
Crowd reaction or in-ring work?
Look, you need one for the other, right? If your in-ring work sucks, you ain't going to get a crowd reaction. You know what I mean? So your in-ring work dictates the crowd reaction. So if you can't master that and you can't do that really well, you're not going to get a crowd reaction. They ain't going to remember your name at the end of the night. It ain't going to matter. So that's like it's a one. I don't know. For me, it's not one or the other because if you don't have one, you don't get the other. So they're both very important, but one needs to precede the other to get it, if that makes sense.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Entrance that still gives you chills.
I mean, how did you not like go ape shit when you heard that glass break? You know, you know what I mean? Like you knew when you heard that glass break, shit was about to pop off. I can't tell you how many times I've been at arenas when I was a kid or whatever the case may be, and I was grabbing a pretzel or a damn hot dog or something. I heard that glass break. I would drop my shit right there. What it was? I don't care if it was $50 I just spent on a Pepsi and a bag of popcorn at these crazy ass shows. You know what I'm saying? I was gone. I was hauling ass back to the seat, or at least in like the stairwells. You know what I mean? Like going down the arena just to see what the hell was going on. That one, you still hear it, still gives you goosebumps because you know shit's about to pop off for sure.
I'll give you one more on top of that one. The gong.
For Taker?
The Undertaker, yes.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, dude. That's another one. It's like those two sounds are like synonymous. You ever seen those memes and stuff where it's just like some idiots like running somewhere and they don't realize it's a glass door and it breaks and the glass shatters and boom, it's Austin. Like anytime I hear a glass break, I just feel like giving someone a stunner or something or turning around. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Yeah, the gong and Austin.
All right. Couple more. A heel turn or redemption arc?
Heel turn.
I had a feeling you would say that.
Yeah, heel turn. Because don't get me wrong, like the redemption arc's cool. You know what I mean? But like that heel turn, man, especially if they don't see it coming, you know, and you get that holy shit, oh my God moment, like that just leaves such a lasting impression. You know what I mean? Like I still remember when Seth turned on the rest of the Shield, right? That heel turn, when that thing all went down, look what it did for him. Great.
Yeah.
We were just talking about it before. When Austin turned heel at WrestleMania 17 and shook hands with Vince McMahon. What? You know what I'm saying? Like, that was crazy at the time. So, heel turn.
I still remember being pissed about that one. I was so pissed about that.
Yeah. Hell yeah. What the hell is going on? You just spent the last, 5 years beating this guy's ass. Now you're shaking his hand? Okay. But hell, it made for excellent TV, man. You know what I'm saying? It was good. So, heel turn for me, for sure.
All right, two more. I think I know the answer to this, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Favorite wrestling catchphrase?
Shit. Now you got me thinking. Because I've just been the guys we've been talking about.
Man,
I don't know why, because it's at the front of my brain now, because we're just talking about. But you remember when Mr. Perfect would do something in the ring or at the end of a promo? Now that's perfect. Come on, man! That was. Now you got me thinking that was dope too. I mean, obviously the whole Austin 316 says I just.
That's the ass, one I thought you were gonna say.
Yeah. I gotta go with that one. Yeah, I'll go with that one. Or you could always go out there and best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. That's a good one too. But I'd have to go with Austin 316. I'd say.
Yeah, I could give you
Still
I was
a
like,
around. They
couple
Kobe
still
right
sell,
talks
off the
so
bat.
much.
they still sell damn Austin 316 shirts at freaking WWE events when you go there. But now they got like the city, like wherever they're at, it'll be like Oklahoma City, OKC 316 or Raleigh 316. I'm like, God, man, that's yeah. That has to be. I'll go with Austin 316.
Yeah, I could give you a couple right off the back. Like
Yeah.
one of them was with Razor Ramon. Is something happened to my chain, man?
Mhm.
Something going to happen to you.
Yeah, carve you up. Yeah,
I'm
hell
gonna
yeah.
carve
Yeah,
you up. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That joint was crazy,
yeah,
man. Yeah, yeah.
definitely,
Yeah, that
definitely.
was one of my favorite ones. Yep, yep.
Oh yeah,
I got one. I got one quick question. Um,
true.
when fans think of Alex Evans 10 years from now, what is one specific feeling or memory you hope comes to their minds?
Honestly, man, I just hope that they remember just getting their money's worth out of me uh, whenever they saw me. That's what I want. I'm not saying like I don't want them to like be like, oh, you remember when he did this move or that move? Or I want to create so many moments for fans that the only thing that I want them to care about was that like, all right, that dude was valid. He was a good one. And I know that 20, 25, $30, 15 whatever it was they spent on that night, it was worth it because they got to see me on that card. That's what I want them to remember me by.
That's fair. That's fair. I think and I've asked other athletes this question plenty of times. We've asked them plenty of times. Like legacy is important. You know, what are what everlasting impressions that you're gonna leave, whether you have won multiple titles or not. Because not for nothing, a lot of the guys that we mentioned, they didn't win a lot of titles, but the everlasting impressions that they left was like entitlement enough.
Yeah.
Like we
What
just
what what titles, what championships did Scott Hall and Razor Ramon hold in his career?
Intercontinental title.
Hmm.
I believe he was a TV champion on
In
WCW.
WCW.
Yeah.
Yep. Tag
Um,
champ in WCW too.
I believe he held a title in TNA as well. He was in TNA for a short stint. I think he held a title
Yeah,
in
I'm not
TNA.
sure. He might have held something for like a show or a show or two or something like that. But yeah, man, it ain't about
Hmm.
listen, it ain't about championships, right?
Hmm.
Those are props. Okay? Like they are. They mean something. I'm not trying to take away anything from being a champion, no. But you know, like in my opinion, no one's going to remember you being this champion or they were that champion because there was plenty before you and there's going to be plenty after you that are going to be that champion. You know what I'm saying? They're going to remember the memories and the moments you provided for them. You know, like I still remember the first time Austin stunned McMahon on Monday Night Raw. You know what I'm saying? I remember uh, you know, Triple H coming back from injury and winning the 2002 Royal Rumble. I remember Shawn Michaels beating Brett in the Iron Man match at WrestleMania 12. I remember the moments. The fact that Michaels won the heavyweight title, yeah, I don't want to say it's in the back of my head because he did win that title on that match, but like I remember the match first, right? I remember being so enthralled in those 60 minutes that that's what I took away from that. Not that he won the title, that holy shit, I just watched something that's probably gonna be talked about forever. Right? That's that moment. That's what I'm trying to create for people that see me on any show.
Yeah, I think that makes perfectly good sense. Like just leaving that everlasting impression. Being able to like hear the fans tell you, when you're going backstage, like, wow, that was awesome. I remember. So last summer, I took my son to his first wrestling match, and I got 3 kids. The other one's a little bit too young to be taken out there, go seeing people get hit over the head and all that stuff. I'll get in trouble by my wife. So I took my oldest son out there, and I remember him. We was in the front row of AEW Collision. He watched Kevin Knight. First thing he said to me was, he was like, "Dad, did you see that?" He was like, "Oh my God, it's like a video game." And I was like, "Yeah, it was amazing, right?" He's seen Kevin Knight do like some sort of corkscrew plunger type joint. And then I was like, and then Brody King walked right past him, was like, ooh, 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 going back and forth like this. And so those type of memories is going to be in my son's head forever. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the times, like, you guys don't even have to get in the ring. Just you might be saying something, or you might do something that will just inspire that one or two kids, and then they'll remember that for the rest of their life. And then next thing you know, you see them 18, 19 years from now, they're grown, and be like, "Yeah, I remember you. Remember when you did this back at such and such time? That was me sitting in the front row watching you." So, yeah, I get it. Seeing the look on my kid's face, that's what it's about. Man. Yeah, that's what it's about. Yeah, that was a great feeling. So
for sure.
So I know my bro, he likes to close out a certain way. So I'm gonna let him take the floor when it comes to that.
All right, let's do it.
So I like to close the show out on this specific question. If you could see any other professional wrestler or athlete on the Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle podcast, who would it be? But
LeBron. Oh, my bad. Were you about to say it can't be him? Because I just screwed myself. No, but go ahead. My bad.
No. I was gonna say, but Alex Evans has to help us get that person on the show.
Does it have to be one person, or can it be multiple?
However, you can do one, you can do however many you want.
Yeah.
So I would love for Amanda Kiss, Leah Knight.
That's crazy. Mm-hmm. So, not to cut you off, right? But Rayhan.
Yep.
I asked Rayhan that question.
My dude,
he told me those same two.
Really?
He told me the same two, and they have yet to respond.
I'll talk to them. I'll see what I can do. No, but Amanda Kiss, Leah Knight, Cozy would be fantastic. Mark James would be awesome for y'all to have an interview on here as well. But even like Blade Brown. I don't know if anyone said Blade Brown too.
We had Blade Brown on the show over the summer.
Oh, hell yeah. Good shit. Manny Lowe is another one. SoFly Manny Lowe is another one. Definitely I would look into. But those are definitely a few that I would love to see on here that I could try to, pull some strings.
It's funny you mentioned LeBron Cozone, because it definitely found him on Facebook, because like while we conducting the interview, I promo the whole entire interview so it could get more eyes on you and more eyes on the interview itself. So I'm sharing it, and his name just comes up on that FYP. Like, just like that. I lied to you not. It came over FYP. I was like, oh.
What's that mean? What's that mean, FYP?
For you page, like
oh, hell yeah.
So, like, he was actually watching it?
Not watching it. It just came up like, it came up on the feed. So I instantly requested him. So like,
Good, man.
Yeah. So definitely,
sure.
and also of course Mark James, because he requested to follow us on Facebook on the Bars Wrestling Media page. So yeah.
Yep. Good shit. So, you can't go wrong with anyone on this one.
funny enough, I have reached out to LeBron Cozone and still haven't received a response from him either.
When was this? When did you reach out to him?
Had to been about August, September time frame when we saw the first time I actually saw him was on an Ashe wrestling show.
Dope. Were you there or you watched it online?
I watched it online.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I looked for him then, and I found an email for him, and I emailed him, and then, matter of fact, I got my little book here because you said another name, Manny Lowe. I've actually emailed him before, and then yes, it was LeBron Cozone. I actually emailed him once before too. It's called. I'm not going to say it out loud. I'll wait.
Yeah.
But I've actually have him and Manny Lowe written down, and I've reached out to both of them with no response. So,
let's see what we can
along
do.
with Amanda Kiss and Leah Knight.
Let's see what we can do. I got you.
That'd be great because LeBron Cozone is one that him and I have talked extensively about getting on the show, about wanting to talk to.
Brother, you would need 4 hours for that one, man, because just like the wealth of knowledge that dude will preach on here, just being able to speak alone, that'd be a hell of an interview for sure. And he doesn't do many.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying he doesn't do many. You know what I mean? Like I don't think he's done very many podcast interviews or stuff like that, and he needs to. I feel like.
You said we would need 4 hours. I think we talked to Rayhan for a good 3.5 hours, so we can do it.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, you can pull it off for sure. Definitely. Shit, we just did it for almost 2.5. So
it's me and him, we talk like, hey, we want to start having our interviews in about an hour and a half. But then when you get enriched in conversation, it's hard, number one, to keep track of the time, and then number two, to just stop right then and there and be like, okay, let's go. No, you just want to keep the conversation going.
Yeah, you limit yourself too, right? Because there could be so much more that could be valuable, like interactive conversation that y'all could be happening. But if you say, no, man, we got a hard stop in an hour and a half, okay, cool. But if you just let it free flow and just talk, man, this is what happens.
For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I want to say thank you for giving us 2.5 hours of your time. It's been a great conversation. Like we haven't ran across any professional wrestler where we didn't have a great conversation with. And
good.
And we understand that your time being not only a dad, like you've mentioned earlier in the show, but being a wrestler, we understand that your time is important. And the fact that you were able to give us 2.5 hours of your time, it is much appreciated.
No, man. Thank you all very much for having me on here. It's been an absolute privilege and an honor. And who knows where we'll see each other down the road. You never know.
Never know.
All right. Whenever you make it big, we want to get you back on here so you can tell us more about the journey.
I ain't going to forget. I'm not going to forget. I got you.
Yeah, for sure. We are definitely appreciative. We're just honored to have you on here, taking time out of your busy schedule. Not just that, taking time from being a father to like come on this show, you know what I mean, and grace your presence and, tell us about yourself and, your journey, your grind and stuff like that. It doesn't go unappreciative because, we understand we dads ourselves, so we get it.
Yeah, no, listen, I appreciate y'all. Like I said, it's been a privilege and an honor. Thank y'all for the platform to be able to come out here and talk about this awesome fucking business and sport, professional wrestling. And it's guys like you that keep that keep this thing going, man. Giving wrestlers voices just to come out here and talk. And you never know who you're going to have on your show and where you're going to see them, in a year or two down the road. So you guys I've watched a lot of the interviews. Keep doing what you're doing, man. It's good shit. It really is.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it. The grind is not easy. I tell you that,
It ain't easy, but don't stop, my friend.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
It doesn't.
Don't stop.
It takes a
thank
lot
you guys
of time.
very, very much.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. And that is the show for this evening. we had the Alex Evans, and we'll be back with another one. We got big shows coming up next week. We need you guys to tune in. Make sure you follow this channel on Facebook's Bars Wrestling Media promo. Oh, go ahead.
And Alex, go ahead and plug all your socials also, so we can have our followers get out there and follow you and show you some support.
Yeah, man. Just on Facebook. On Facebook, Alex Evans, and on Instagram, _Alex_Evans. Right on Instagram. So again, guys, thank you so much. Been an absolute pleasure. I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation. And y'all the real ones. I appreciate it. Thank you guys very much.
And that's the show for this evening. Like I said, make sure you follow Bars Wrestling Media for all the ring ropes and turnbuckle content. Make sure you subscribe to our channel on YouTube. All of our social media sites are available in our link tree. And with that being said, we'll see y'all the next episode. Salute.
Sir.
And that wraps up another explosive edition of the podcast. Join us next week as the road to the championship continues.
This is the Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle Podcast, your home for real pro wrestling talk.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, we the champs. Thanks for listening. We gone.